Good morning and welcome to the HOCHSCHILD Mining PLC investor presentation. Throughout this recorded presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted at any time by the Q&A tab situated in the right corner of your screen. Just simply type in your questions and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company can review all the questions submitted today and publish responses where it is appropriate to do so. Before we begin, I'd like to submit the following poll, and I'd now like to hand you over to Eduardo Landin, CEO. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our retail presentation related to H1 results 2024. The main takeaways of 2024 for the first 6 months is that we continue with a very strong ESG performance, especially on safety. Our revenues went up 25%, up to $392 million. The EBITDA went up 79% to $178 million. Our rolling is 1,510, which is the lowest part of the range in our 2024 guidance. In terms of growth, Mara Rosa mine in Brazil is ramped up and is in production. Monte do Carmo project in Brazil, the option was secured by the approval of their shareholders. And Royropata project in Peru is progressing with the permitting process. In terms of capital discipline, we have $89 million at the end of June. Our net debt is $271 million, and we are focused on debt repayment, growth, and capital return. Continuing with the ESG, as I said, safety results are very encouraging. We are not confident with these results. We will keep working to reduce this to zero. But I have to say that for underground miners to be in a frequency rate of 1.09 is good. Also, on the environmental performance, we have been very good. Our eco score is 4.85 out of 6. And also, we are continuing working in decreasing the consumption of water. If we go to the next page, this is just a reminder of our strategy, the one what we presented on the Capital Market Day back in November. We focus our growth on brownfields. We believe that brownfield generates long-term value. It will extend our life of mine. That is something that the market required. And also, this brownfield exploration will be focused only on mineable resources. Operational efficiency is another part of our strategy. We want to implement, and we are in the way to implement a lean philosophy across the company. We have been working on process optimization that you'll see the results at Inmaculada. And also, as we have demonstrated in Inmaculada back in 2015 and today with Mara Rosa implementation, we are very good on development projects on time and budget. ESG, I have already commented, but we want to drive responsibility and respect across the company with a world-class safety performance. And the final part of this strategy is this disciplined capital allocation, where we can, through our balance sheet, funding the organic growth, we can pay the debt, we can make capital returns, and of course, as we have demonstrated in Mara Rosa, and probably we will do in Monte do Carmo, create value accretive M&A. This is the production projections that we presented back in November. So as you can see, in the next 3 years, we will be producing between 340 and 375,000 ounces of gold. And the cost profile, it will go down from 1,500 to 1,000, let's say 1,100, between 1,100 and 1,200. Inmaculada, this semester has beaten our expectations. The thing is that we have implemented, with the help of a consultant, improving project of the mining cycle. And this mining cycle incorporate ventilation improvements, mine support, incorporating marginal cutoffs, shift change optimization, ore control, and blasting length. So the production, we expect to have a better production than the guidance for Immaculada. And as you probably remember, in the actual all-in sustaining cash cost of 2024 is including $45 million capex that include the TSF expansion, waste rock facility implementation, a new reverse osmosis plant, and also the mine development that we were pending from year 2022 and 2023, where we had where did had the lack of a permit. In terms of brownfield program at Inmaculada, we are doing extremely well. We have very promising results at Tesoro, Nicolas, and Cari. We believe that we will be, I mean, we have the possibility to add between 0.7 and 0.85 million ounces of gold equivalent at the end of this year as inferred resources. But also, I mean, our priority is to maximize the life of mine. We have a 4-year plan in place where we could add around 0.5 million ounces per year with very good grades, around 500 grams per ton. Going to Mara Rosa, well, let me say that I think we have done a very good job in this project. We did this project on time and budget. It took us something like 90 days to ramp up the project. On May 13th, we declare commercial production, and of course, as business as usual, we have some issues during the ramp up. Today, we have the plant totally stable, producing between 8,000 and 10,000 ounces per month. Unfortunately, we were a little bit optimistic at the beginning of the year, but I think we will be producing between 70 and 75,000 ounces this year from Mara Rosa with very good all-in sustaining cash costs. We continue looking for opportunities to identify new resources to extend life of mine. And of course, the plant that has a nominal capacity of 7,000, we believe that during the stabilization process, we could go up to 8,000. In terms of Mara Rosa near mine exploration, as you can see on the same mineralization trend of Posé, which is the small yellow dot there. We have Pastinho, we have Posé South, we have many places where we can increase resources, and the idea is to double the initial resource in the next few years. In Pallancata, this is the Royropata new project. As you know, in the last 2 years, we have been able to add 50 million ounces. We believe that we can add another 30 to 35 million ounces of silver equivalent. And we continue drilling Pablo, Cantera, and Erica with very good results. We have many other areas that we will explore during 2024 and 2027. So that means that the potential of the new Royropata project is very impressive. And as you know, we are in the process to get the new permits. I believe that to start the process with to finish the baselines, we need to finish with the easements, with the communities, and we are in that way. San Jose, let me say that we believe that we are exposed to a very good opportunity in terms of the possible devaluation that the government is planning from now until the end of the year. That could mean an important reduction of costs for us. This year, we have been able to replace the production. We found some new resources at Freya. Freya was an old vein, Anodin, and Maura. And of course, we will continue drilling around Cerro Negro project operation because we have mining properties around, and we believe that we could find extension of their veins in our mining property. Monte do Carmo, the option is secure. This is a new project in Brazil that we secure an option. We pay $50 million. This project is in Tocantins, north of Goiás. I mean, the state of Tocantins is a very friendly mining jurisdiction. I was there a couple of weeks ago. I was with the authorities. I mean, these authorities are totally welcome for new investors. I mean, this project has a feasibility study. It's an open pit. It has the environmental license. As you know, it has the most complicated license. So if we execute the project, we need only the installation license. It has a very good infrastructure like paved roads, airport, water, electricity. So we believe that it's a very good project that fits really well with our current operations in Brazil. What we are waiting to exercise the option is we are doing some drilling. That drilling was twin drilling to make sure that variability of the deposit is the correct one. And we have confirmed that it is. And also we are drilling some new resources in order to bring 100,000 ounces additional resource to make sure that at consensus prices is a profitable project for us, in line with our capital discipline policy that we established in our strategy. I pass the presentation now to Eduardo Noriega, our CFO, to give you some comments on the profit and loss accounts. Thank you, Eduardo.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. I am very happy to present to you a strong set of results for the first half of 2024. As you can see, our revenue numbers at around $392 million for the first 6 months came very strong, higher than what we had in 2023. I would also like to point out the attributable net profit, which was $52.1 million, again higher than the results that we had in H1 2023. Adjusted EBITDA was at $177 million, very strong, $77.6 million, higher than what we show in 2023. These results and the improvements versus the first half of the previous year are mainly a result not only of strong market conditions reflected in better gold and silver prices, but also are a result of stronger production from our mines. So again, very good results for the first 6 months. In terms of balance sheet evolution, I would just highlight that we started with $89 million of cash in 2023, December 2023, and we finalized with a similar amount, $89 million as of June 2024. You can see the strong cash generation capacity of our two assets producing in H1 2024, Inmaculada and San Jose. And the cash that we generated was mainly used to complete the construction of Mara Rosa and also invest in the Monte do Carmo option that we acquired, as well as advancing in our the permit of the Royropata project in Peru. So again, very healthy balance sheet that will allow us to advance in our growth plans, as well as on repaying our financial obligations. In terms of all-in sustaining cost, in 2024, we had an all-in sustaining cost of $1,510 per ounce of gold, which is a number that it was below what we had in 2023 and pretty much on track to achieve the annual guidance of between $1,510 and $1,550 per ounce of gold. So again, pretty much pretty good results and in line with our guidance for the year. In terms of capital expenditures, sustaining capex was at $79 million for all our operations. That number was above the capex that we had in H1 2023, where we were delaying some of the capex, as explained by Eduardo Landin, due to Hochschild waiting for an important permit in Immaculada, which was secured in the second half of 2023. So we're catching up with some capital expenditures in mainly in Immaculada, and as a result of that, as I said, we had $79 million of sustaining capex for the first 6 months. And we're pretty much in line with the guidance for the year, which is between $171 and $178 million for the full 12 months. In terms of project capex, as you can see in the bottom, Mara Rosa, we're very, very proud to say that we completed the construction of this important asset for the group on time and on budget, and the total construction capex that we're reporting is $205 million, again, fully executed, and we now have Mara Rosa, a fantastic asset, already in commercial production, and we'll show the impact of that asset in H2 2024. Margin-wise, our EBITDA margin for H1 2024 was 45%, showing an important increase versus the results that we had in the previous 2 years, and better when our peer group show us as EBITDA margin. Again, this is a result not only of very good market conditions, but also the impact or the good production and cost controls that we have in all our operations. I just would like to highlight again that in H2, in addition to the production that we show in the first 6 months, we're going to have the full impact of Mara Rosa, an asset with low all-in sustaining costs. The company has a strong balance sheet and is well positioned to repay its financial obligations, but also fund its short-term growth strategy. With cash at $89 million and a total debt of $360 million, our net debt was $271 million for the first 6 months. Net debt to EBITDA also improved, and it is at 0.8 times, well within the range that we have indicated the market would like to be in, which is between 0.5 times and 1.5 times. We're now heading to the lower part of that range. We have hedges in place that we placed when we were building Mara Rosa, mainly to secure some minimum cash flows to complete the construction, but also to pay down on our financial obligations. Finally, I would just like to highlight that the company thinking is evaluating on restarting its dividends. This is something that we are evaluating right now, but it will be reviewed with the full year 2024 results. Finally, a slide that shows the compelling arguments of our valuation metrics. I think there's a strong case to believe that there is still a lot of upside in our share price value, as you can see from the analysis presented in this slide, where we're comparing relevant metrics with our peers. Back to you, Eduardo.
Thank you very much, Eduardo. Very impressive results. Well, as a conclusion, let me say that on H2 2023, we define a strategy that I just show you with these 4 pillars. And H1 has been the semester to start implementing this strategy. We continue focus on the core business. We are totally focused on increasing production and also lowering cost. As I said, we have a world-class ESG performance, especially on safety. Today, we have a new low-cost Brazil mine in production. Immaculada is outperforming with a lot of efficiency projects implemented already that it will be there forever. Also, we have secured a very important option in Brazil to add a new project in the pipeline. We believe that we have a very strong H1 brownfield progress, and resources will be presented at the end of the year. Royropata is to deliver 100,000 ounces per year from 2028. And of course, we have this disciplined capital allocation strategy implemented. As a summary, I would say that today the company is producing around 350,000 ounces of gold, and we have a plan in place with Royropata and with Monte do Carmo to become a company that could produce 500,000 ounces or more than 500,000 ounces of gold from 2028 onwards, with a long life of mine in each site. So that's as a conclusion. Thank you very much. And now we are here to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, please do continue to submit your questions just by using the Q&A tab, which is situated on the top right-hand corner of your screen. But just while the company take a few moments to review the questions that have been submitted today, I'd like to remind you that recording of this presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A, can be accessed via your investor dashboard. Charles, at this point, if I could hand over to you to chair the Q&A, that'd be great, and then I'll pick up from you at the end.
Thank you very much. The first question, well, actually, there's been a couple of questions on this, but let me read this one, and I think it should cover the same subjects. Eduardo, can you give more details on drilling at Monte do Carmo? Is the aim to get the resource to 1 million ounces? Will you announce these drilling results? And is drilling confined to the area where the resource is already defined? The final part of it, I can read this back again, but the final part is, if the option is taken up, would you expect to start construction next year?
Oh, that's a very good.
Quite a few questions.
It's a good question. Well, basically, as I said, in Monte do Carmo, we have done an important drilling campaign to make sure that the variability of the asset is the correct one. And we have done that, and it's proven, and we have our geological model. We are trying to bring some ounces in the next. I mean, we have been drilling for 3 months. We are trying to bring some ounces, as I said, to make sure that the project is profitable at very low prices. Then we will continue drilling because the good news about Monte do Carmo is that it has 83,000 hectares with a lot of targets defined. So we believe that, we can reach that million ounces or even more. So that's the reason we believe that it's a very, very interesting project. In terms of the timeline, let's imagine, that we exercise the option from now until the end of the year. So 2025 will be a year where we'll be doing all the detail engineering and getting the installation license. That could take between 12 months, 10 months. So I would say that I could see, if we exercise this option, I could see the company building Monte do Carmo probably beginning at the end of 2025 or at the beginning of 2026. We have to remember that there is a rainy season, an important rainy season in Brazil, and probably January, February, and March is not the best time to start construction. So if we are not able to start construction in October, November, December, probably it will be March, April 2026.
Great, thank you. The next question, how significant could the brownfield exploration program be to delivering growth in the medium term?
But I believe that we have a huge potential on brownfield exploration. I believe this is the most profitable way to grow. Once we have a initial resource, we have demonstrated always that we are able to increase those resources. And the best sample is Immaculada. Immaculada, we started that project with 80 million ounces of silver back in 2015, and today we have tripled that. With the new environmental permit that we got last year for 20 years, we have many, many targets, and the potential of growth is huge at Immaculada. If we go to Pallancata, it's exactly the same. Royropata shows the possibility to add 2 million ounces of gold. We have many targets, and that's the reason we are doing the new environmental permit to be able to bring all those ounces in Royropata. If we go into San Jose, San Jose has been replacing their resources since 2008. And this year, with the extension of FREA, we have been able to extend one more year of production. So it's always like that. And we believe that the properties around Cerro Negro has a lot of potential. And Mara Rosa, we've already found some resources at the bottom of the pit, but there are also many places with potential brownfield exploration. And Monte Carlo, I have already mentioned that we believe that it has huge potential because 83,000 hectares with defined targets already from Cerrado Gold mean that, possibilities are there. So I would say that brownfield is one of the main parts of our strategy because I believe a lot on brownfield exploration, and we are very good.
Thank you very much. The next question is, Brazil seems to be a great market to be operating in, with lower cost projects and diversifying your risk. Will you pursue further projects in Brazil?
Well, at the end of the day, this business depends on how good is your asset. Yeah. So we have to be with eyes open to new projects. Brazil looks like the perfect place to be. It's true that Brazil is really depends on the state because there is a states that is very difficult to do mining. Let's say Pará, for example, but Tocantins and Goiás are very good places. So we have an M&A team that is looking for opportunities, and of course, if there is opportunities in Brazil, we will pursue them because we have the right team there. We have the Brazilian right team, which I think is extremely important, to operate in Brazil. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you very much. The next question. Immaculada seems to have performed better than expectations in the first half of the year. What was this due to?
Well, basically, remember that during 2022 and 2023, that we didn't get the permit, we were not able to develop the mine. Once we got the permit last year in August, we began to do developments, and that gives you a lot of flexibility in the mine. Also, we decided to hire a consultant, and together with our internal team, we have implemented an very efficient improvements, in different ways, like the mining cycle, the blastings, the equipments, ore control, the shift change. So that means that today we have a very efficient mine, and those improvements is not one time. It's one off. It's not one off. It's something that it will stay there. But let me remember everyone that we said that we will continue producing around 200,000 ounces in Immaculada. And that's the idea. To extend life of mine and produce these 200,000 ounces with a very good cost for an underground mine.
Okay, thank you. The next question, I think we did cover, but let's emphasize this. Eduardo, when can we expect a return of the dividend?
Thank you, Charlie. We are having internal discussions to evaluate returning to dividend payments by the end of the year. So as you know, our strategy consider first to reduce our indebtedness levels. We are executing on that first, and once we see the full year results of 2024, we will consider that again.
Okay, thank you very much. The next question is, as far as I have seen, the political situation seems to have stabilized in both Peru and Argentina. Is this a correct reading of the situation?
I would say that yes, it's a correct reading. The situation in Peru there is an equilibrium between the Congress and the government, and we believe that equilibrium will stay until election on 2026. And in Argentina, I would say that President Milei is implementing measures that they are difficult measures, but they are giving some results. The opportunity for us in Argentina is that if the currency devaluates from now until the end of the year, and they are talking about 30% devaluation without inflation, because inflation is going down very quickly, that would mean a very good cost reduction for our Argentinian operation.
Thank you very much. And then this question is, do you have any long-term strategy with regards to having an ideal split between gold and silver?
Well, as I said, we like to be exposed on silver. We like gold because gold is a very good metal. Um, uh, but as I said, I mean, the most important thing in this mining business is the asset quality. So we're open, to operate and to develop projects with gold and silver. I am very happy to say that Royropata is a project that is nearly 100% silver, so that will increase the exposure to silver for HOCHSCHILD. And the fundamentals for silver today in terms of supply and demand based on the new technologies are very good. So, I mean, with the current split of, I don't know, if we are 70-30, 70% gold, 30% silver, we could go up to 60-40. We feel quite good.
Okay. This question is there any evidence of a silver squeeze caused by the physical buying from India and China now or in the near future?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not an specialist on that, and I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. But what I know is that silver, in terms of demand and supply, there is a lot of demands for silver based on new technology. So I believe that we are bullish on silver as well as gold.
And Eduardo, on the supply side, there aren't too many new silver mines coming on the primary side, are there? Either?
Exactly. I mean, Royropata is one of the biggest silver producers that could come up to the market in 2028, producing between 10 and 12 million ounces of silver. So that's very good for us.
Okay. Thank you very much. That's all the questions there are at the moment.
Perfect. Thank you very much for answering those questions you can for investors. Of course, the company can review all the questions submitted today and will publish those responses on the Investor Meet Company platform. But just before redirecting investors, provide you with their feedback, which I know is particularly important to the company. Eduardo, could I just ask you for a few closing comments?
Well, I would like to thank everyone for being in this presentation. As I said, we have a company that produced 350,000 ounces with a low cost compared with the current prices. Of course, we will continue doing efficiency programs to try to be as much competitive as possible. And also, we have a growth story in place that could mean a 60% growth in the next 3-4 years. So we believe that, I mean, to have our share is a very good bet for the future if you want to be in the gold and silver industry. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you once again for updating investors today. Could I please ask investors not to close the session as you'll now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order the management team can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete, but I'm sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of Hochschild Mining PLC, we'd like to thank you for attending today's presentation, and good morning to you all.